Hi, I'm Manoj, a mechanical engineer over here, and actually in 11th and 12th, I was one of those guys like from among the majority of us who was put into a Fiji coaching institute, and I actually enjoyed solving those type of problems, those maths and physics, math, physics and chemistry, which would make you think. And there was not much of application, but it was actually, I found it pretty interesting. And so I gave my entrance examinations, and finally I put mechanical up in my preference order compared to like CS or EEE because of actually 3 reasons. First one was like I got biochemical engineering in IIT, and my dad is a biologist, and he said, dude, if you take biology, then you'll be like me, and you won't be successful in your life. And the second reason actually was, as I told before, I actually liked mechanics, and mechanical engineering sounded similar to mechanics, and so that was a reason. And the third one was, most of my friends who got top ranks in JEE, they put CS as their first option. And actually, like from birth, I wanted to be different from everyone else, and so I put mechanical up my preference order. So these 3 were the main reasons. Jokes apart, after coming here, the first few days, they were actually very brilliant. I mean, you get all the freedom you want, and most of the people here, they are multi-talented, and most of the people here, they are multi-talented, and they are good in not one field. Like if you talk to a person, he'll be good in coding, music, arts, dance, and so on. So I was actually geared up and excited for my first class actually. And what happened was, as soon as I entered the class, the teacher he started on a good note. He said that this course will have many applications in the future and stuff. But then he wrote something on the board that made my interest level go down drastically. He just said that test 1 will have this much weightage, test 2 will have this much weightage, and surprise quiz will have this much weightage. So it's required for you to come to the class. And so that made me think that even over here, we do things just for the sake of grades. I actually have 3 stories that would demonstrate that. The first one was, there was a course that we had in our second year, first semester called Electrical Sciences. And there were 2 of my friends who studied, I mean, there are many people who studied, but 2 of my friends, one of them, he was actually very sincere. He knew the theoretical aspect about each and everything. Like, suppose there's a diode or a transistor, he would be able to say like why it's being applied, and which is the the upcoming technology that has the particular part. And the other friend of mine, he did not give a damn about all that because he wasn't interested in the subject. So what he did was, he just borrowed the notes 2 days before the exam, and then saw like how the different circuits were, and there were 2 or 3 different ways of solving a problem. And so he just mugged up those ways, and at the end he ended up in the top 5 of the class. And that friend was none other than me, actually. Well, I can be my own friend. And and the second story was that I read on Quora. There were two engineering graduates who were to reach their home, and then there was a river. There was a river on the journey towards their home. So what happened was, it started raining drastically at that point of time. The engineer, let's say they were A and B. What happened was, he swam through the river, and by the time he reached the other end of the shore, he got wet, and he was very tired. But the engineer B, what happened was, there was a bridge in between, and he ran through it, and he was almost dry and free of any tiredness. But what happened was that the villagers, they appreciated engineer A. You know why? Because he had high CGPA. And the third one was, it was my personal thing. There was this course called computer programming in our first year, second semester, which I was really interested in. Obviously, there were other people who had done computer programming before, that is in the 11th and 12th, and I had actually done biology. So what happened was, in the first few tests for me were very bad. Before I could even think about the logic behind a particular problem, the other people would solve it and they'll be out of the lab. And does it mean that I suck at it or that I'm really bad at it? No, it doesn't. It just means that I'm really interested in it and it takes time for me to actually learn it. So who would you prefer? A person who gets marks easily, or a person who, even though he gets less amount of marks, he's still willing to work hard and make up for it. So these three things tell us that people actually start hating engineering because a great amount of importance is given to CGPA and marks. This shouldn't be the case, because even from our schooling, during our entire schooling, we were taught to just mug up stuff and vomit it back in the paper. Engineering should be something different. So I like to say that the whole higher education system should be scrapped. There should be more of importance given to projects. Suppose a student is interested in is interested in robotics. Reading the theory behind reading the theory of electrical machines or something else wouldn't actually help him unless a teacher comes and coaches him. So maybe there could be 5 or 6 projects given to him during the entire semester where he could go to the teacher and the teacher would guide him. So this would actually make the student learn something rather than just read up stuff quickly the day before the exam and forget it the day after. And so I was another of those irritated students, because after a point of time I realized that getting good marks won't help me, won't increase my technical ability anywhere. So what happened was, since I was interested in programming, there was this thing in IEEE called Python App Development Group. So I joined that group, and then those seniors over there, they were really helpful towards me and they started guiding me. They told me they gave me guidance to build small apps. They started with a text editor, and then slowly I built an inventory management system for the department of backstage. And then I finally discovered my interest in programming, and then one of my seniors, he did Google Summer of Code in 2013. So I just asked him the procedure to apply, and then he told me that you need to go to the mailing list of a particular organization that you're interested in and then start working for them. So I started working for them and I fixed a number of bugs for them and things worked out for me. So it's up to us also. We should not keep blaming the education system, saying that it's not good and it's all about marks. If you want to create stuff, it's up to you to take the initiative. If you want to say, if you're interested in design or something, then what actually is stopping you to go to your senior or to a professor who's good at it? Professors are really interested in talking to students, especially when it comes to non-academic purposes. The only time that I went to a mechanical faculty's chamber is either to ask for 2 or 3 extra marks or for a project next semester. So that's what, as I said before, it's up to us to take the initiative and make engineering the thing that we actually love, not like it exists right now. So I like to conclude by saying that engineering is not the end to anything. It's just the beginning of everything. Thanks.